I love cooking steak. I think we always get excited about it. Everyone in the family loves it. And as much as I love steak and chips, and we always will, like, what more is there? What other vibes rock with that incredible piece of meat? I'm kind of going to North Africa, sort of Moorish flavours. This is a great little dish that I'm doing for me and Jules. A nice little sharing steak with couscous, beautiful tomatoes, artichokes, and I've got some flavours in there that are just gonna pop. So this is steak, but with a little bit of a difference. Now, we can start with the couscous. Me and my mob love this. I've seen lots of people get worried about it being sticky or overcooking it and it goes quite stodgy. Look, the simplest thing in the world is go in with the couscous, right? That's just like a little cup for two of us. A nice bunch of mint for this dish. Grab the stalks, twist it off, and that will infuse straight into the couscous. I've got some boiling water, and all I have to do is just cover the couscous. That is it. And then I put a lid on top, leave that for 12 to 15 minutes, and just let that plump up. It could not be simpler. Right, the steak. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. A nice sirloin steak. It's about 1 inch thick. Often when you go to the supermarket, they'll pre-portion steaks for you. If you want to get that really gorgeous and brown on the outside and blushing or medium on the inside, it's really hard. Go for one really thick steak for 2 people. It will taste much better. It'll be more tender because of the way that you cook it. I'm gonna season this quite generously with black pepper, so to create almost like a bark. Nice sea salt on top like that. Press it in. And then move this around. This will not only season it and flavour it, but also kind of protect it a little bit as well. Because we're gonna go straight onto the hot part of the barbie. That'll start sizzling and be beautiful. So let's flip the board. You could do this in a pan. I would start on the fat side for about 3 minutes. Let that fat go brown, golden and render, and then just put it over, let it fry, put it over, let it fry. So whether you do it inside or outside, it's all good. Look at that. Oh, the dancing fat is beautiful. It's gonna be heavenly, but there's more. Get a pan on. I quite like using pans on a barbecue. It means you can do extra little jobs. You can fry things off, you can dress things, you can even steam or boil if you want to. So there's more flavours that I'm taking from Morocco. Nice almonds, just a little handful. By toasting them, you're gonna get more nuttiness. Okay, couscous going, steak on. To go with it, lovely sweet cherry tomatoes. So take your tomatoes and just half them. Keep an eye on that steak. I want to cook that medium rare. Jules likes it medium, so I'll go for that. But nice and blushing, nice and juicy. When the nuts here are nice and toasted, get that steak off. Look at that. Sizzling away. The resting juices will come out. At the same time, just a little bit of honey. And the honey will mix with the juices and create a gorgeous sauce. And then, those lovely almonds that we've toasted, sprinkle over the top. So let that rest away nicely, and then go in with the veggies. I want to use a maybe more unusual vegetable, artichokes, and this will be beautiful with the couscous and the tomatoes. And some people get freaked out by how to prep them and peel them and take the heart out. Look, if you get them in a jar, they're done for you. They're amazing. You can have them like that, raw, or we can cook them. Take some of the oil that comes with these lovely artichokes, put half a jar of the artichokes in the pan, and we'll start building up the most amazing flavour for the veggies. If you've never had artichokes before, they're absolutely delicious. There's one ingredient here that will completely transform this, preserved lemons. Now, you can get these in supermarkets, and they're an odd little ingredient, but these are small lemons that have the most incredible fragrance, and they're so delicious. If I cut it in half, can you see they're quite seedy? But don't judge these little fellas by their small size and their seediness, because the flavour is amazing. It's like an ultra lemon. Get rid of these seeds, finely slice, and then sprinkle that in with the artichokes. Now you can see the artichokes getting really nicely crisp, which is gorgeous. Look at that. Then the tomatoes. Sweet, fragrant. One final flourish with the veggies. If we go back to the beginning of the story where we used the mint stalks in the couscous, pick off all the mint leaves. That mint flavour is delicious. We love it with roast lamb. Maybe more unusual with the steak. But honey, mint, fragrant, funk with the lemon, really popping flavours and really popping colour as well. It's really fast and really beautiful. So, in with the mint, and that will just wilt down. Then let's have a look at our couscous. Got the mint stalks here. That can go. Lovely compost. Let's fork it up. And that's light and fresh. Look at that. Really, really nice. So, we are all ready to rock and roll. Let me just put it here for 1 second. Couscous, veg done, steak is rested nicely. Now, on this steak, there's this little bit of fat here and sinew, which is always tough and never a pleasure. Cut that off, and as soon as I've done that, then slice it up. Nice, blushing. That's how Jules likes it, medium. What's quite nice about when you do a medium steak is you can get the nice blushing bit on the inside for you, and then I can give the missus the well done bit on the outside, so she's happy. We've got all of these incredible juices here as well, look at that. And if I just pour that over the steak, that's pretty special. Really nice, sweet resting juices and the nuts. Let's plate it up now. Couscous, for us at home, is a really good staple. Jules is always using it for the kids at least once a week. Look at that. The colours of the tomatoes and the artichokes are amazing. And I'm going to put half of it on, like that. Add a little bed for our steak and lay that over the top. So we've got steak, we've got the nuts, we've got the veg on the bottom. You know, the juices will all go into each other. And look, the great thing about the couscous is it's soaking up all of those juices and flavours. And then the veggies. Look at that, full of colour, excitement, amazing flavours. I'm really looking forward to tucking into that. Let's have a little try. Come on. I don't want to ruin it. Let's get this little bit here. Get some couscous, some tomato, a little bit of the old mint there. The sweetness of the honey, the lemon's there. Of course, the steak is just gorgeous and tender. That just feels like a really vivacious, exciting, delicious meal. So come on, let's serve it up. Jules, dinner. Cajun steak, barbecue beans, and amazing collard greens. This great soul food dish, it's delicious. Baked beans in America are off the hook. So I'll grab 2 tins of mixed beans. These beans in the tins are really good. Now over here, I've got a hot pan. We just want 2 tablespoons of olive oil going into that pan. We go in with our beans. Try not to move them too much, just give them a little shake and just let them start popping and getting crispy. Now, barbecue sauce. There's so many recipes, but I'm gonna do a nice basic sauce. About 2 tablespoons of ketchup. I'm just gonna put it directly in like that. Tabasco, as much as you dare. English mustard, about a heaped teaspoon, goes in like that. I've got brown sauce, very British. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and some honey, about a teaspoon of honey. And all the time that we're adding this, you know, it's getting crispy. Mix those barbecue sauce flavours in there, and half a jar, sort of about 300 mils of passata goes in. Those lovely barbecue flavours, very simple, I'm gonna add cheese, but you don't have to put loads in. Just 40 grams of cheddar, just to sort of get nice and golden, is more than enough. Whack this in the oven. Over here I've got two beautiful 250 gram sirloin steaks. These two steaks will be more than enough for 4 people the way I'm gonna cook it, okay? So what I wanna do is season these beautiful steaks. I'm using some sea salt there, some pepper. I've got some dried thyme. I've got some sweet paprika here. Then just move the steaks around in that flavour. We're gonna cook this steak in just a tablespoon of olive oil. I want mine sort of blushing. You know, Jules likes it more medium, I like it medium rare. Look at that. You know, I'm not gonna rest this. It's a sirloin, it's been cooked nice and quickly. I'm just gonna pretty much take it off, whack it on the board, and we'll slice it up as well. All the juices in the pan, make sure you mop them up. And look at the fat dancing on the top of that steak. See that? That's what we love. That's proper flavour right there. So let's have a look at our baked beans in here. Yes! Look at that. Bubbling away, sort of nice and sort of stuck to the sides of the pan. Love, love, love all that. You've got stodge and comfort, cooked to perfection. Nice and quick. So this one is for all you avocado lovers out there. If this avocado happens to be quite high in fat, then could I use that as a fat source in cooking? And if that's the case, could I use it like butter or olive oil? Could I make pastry? I had a little play and I started really liking the results. I'm gonna make avocado pastry. And we're gonna turn that into the most amazing quiche with eggs and beautiful sweet peas and cheddar cheese and basil. So get yourself 2 lovely ripe avocados. Just rotate the avocado around the stone and join up the cuts. Give it a little tap and then just twist it apart like that. It will come out. So just squeeze it out of the skin. Now we need double the flour. 400 grams of self-raising flour. A nice pinch of salt for seasoning. And then just like flour and butter in regular pastry, rub together the avocado and the flour. As this comes together, as a normal pastry would, I'm just gonna take a little water and bring it together. 4 tablespoons go in. Just knead and push together the dough, hug it all together, clean the bowl, and there you have your dough. Like a regular pastry, let it relax. Put that in a nice clean cloth and let it rest for half an hour, and I can go and pick some salad. This lovely pastry has been resting. Just roll it out, try and be even, and then turn the actual pastry, not yourself. Keep rolling away from you, about ½ centimetre thick. And you want it to be bigger than the tray that you're gonna cook it in. Roll this up. It's quite easy to manage. Then we'll take it over here and we'll unwind it like that. The weight of this overhang will keep that pastry in shape. Put a little hole here and there to let the steam out, and that goes in the oven for 10 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. And that's the perfect amount of time for me to make the filling. We're gonna go even more green. Frozen peas, I love them. 300 grams is all you need. And that goes in frozen to a liquidizer. We wanna flavor these peas. I like a bit of basil, so like half a bunch of soft basil leaves. Season with a little salt and pepper, and about 90 grams of the nicest cheddar cheese you can get your hands on. Then 6 large free-range eggs. And then simply whiz it up. Look at the colour. Beautiful. So look, that is the filling done, ready and raring to go. Let's just have a little check on our pastry. I'm actually very happy with that. Pour this filling straight in to this tray. Cook that in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. Just check on it. When that egg is set, we're good to go. I've got some sort of everyday leaves here. I've got a nice crunchy apple, and I always think that kind of brings this salad to life. And then cut it into little matchsticks. Then when it comes to the dressing, 3 parts olive oil to 1 part acid. I'll just use lemon today. Squeeze it through my hands to catch any pips. Get the apple in there. Dressing goes in, and then these lovely salad leaves. Right, this is pretty much done. It looks amazing. Look at the colour. I'm gonna put the salad on top. And then I'll go back to that cheddar and use a speed peeler. Let's get in there. Cut through here, down the little sides like that, and then grab a slice. I love it. I mean, you can actually taste the avocado in the pastry. Let's take this now to my lot.
Mum, let me see.
Do you want to try some?
Yeah. Mum, can I try some of that?
Sometimes you want to pull out all the stops to impress, but that doesn't mean cooking has to be stressful. People often presume that to have a restaurant quality meal, you've got to put hours and hours of work in, and it's not the case. I've been working on the most delicious recipe. This is a midweek meal that is so fresh and delicious, and it looks amazing. It's a 10-minute meal, and it's a lovely piece of cod. I've got lovely seasonal asparagus, and we're making an amazing version of a hollandaise, and it's embracing the much-loved avocado. This is a hollandaise like you've never seen before. Really easy, no splitting, and when you see it all together, I think you're gonna love it. And it's healthy as well, full of colour. So first up, normally with a classic hollandaise, you'd have vinegar or lemon juice, and you would kind of fragrance that with herbs, black peppercorns and stuff like that. So I'm gonna kind of go down that alley, right? I'm gonna take spring onions instead of shallots, and I'll just take the green part and just slice that up like that and put that into a pan. I'm then gonna add the juice of half a lemon straight into there and a little swig of white wine vinegar. So that's gonna give you the tang and acidity that works so well with fish. So lemon juice goes in, catch any pips, like that. A pinch of black pepper. I'll take a little salt as well. And then I'm gonna add a little kiss of water, about 100 milliliters, and we're just gonna let that infuse. So that'll come up to the boil. We don't need any more time than that. Let's just talk about the hollandaise. It's a classic French sauce. It's a fundamental sauce. And it's golden, it's silky, it's delicious. And it's all about emulsifying egg yolks with fat, butter. It can split when you're making it if you're not really careful, and it can split when you keep it warm, when you're doing your dinner parties. So I'm gonna take all of that away. Please do not stress. Now, normally, when you do a hollandaise, what you would do is get your egg yolks and beat it and whisk it over a bain-marie, which is a little pot of boiling water, and then add your clarified butter, okay, along with this, right? I'm gonna simplify it much, much more. So I'm gonna take the egg, and the egg yolk I'll put straight into this little liquidizer. At the same time, I'm gonna take our source of fat. We're not using butter, we're gonna use avocado, a nice, ripe avocado. So simply get a knife, cut it very carefully down to the stone, and then just click it out like that. You can give it a little tap with a knife, stone comes out, and take that beautiful, vivid green avocado out, and that goes in. And actually, the texture and fibre in the avocado really stabilises the whole thing. It takes the risk out. The herb, I'm gonna keep, you know, pretty classic with some lovely tarragon. Now, the truth is, you can have fun with this. If you wanted to do mint or basil or parsley or marjoram, you can. Tarragon has got that aniseed kind of flavour, which is very good with asparagus and fish. 3 or 4 sprigs go in. I'll put that to one side. As soon as that water, lemon and vinegar has come to the boil, we're good to go. We'll go into our blender, very carefully, get all those lovely bits of spring onion. That goes in. So no more whisking, right? No more vulnerability, no more possibility of splitting. And although I'll be banned from France for life for doing this recipe, it is a really clean, beautiful, silky, elegant sauce. Look at that colour. Vivid green, silky smooth. So give it a nice little wazz up, and that's it. That's the sauce done. Look at this, guys. This would be the bit where normally you're worried about splitting it. It's delicious. Really, really good. I'll adjust the seasoning, very important, and I'll put just a little extra boiling water in this just to adjust the consistency to your liking. So I'll just buzz this up just to make it a little bit lighter. The colour is just amazing. Look at that. the perfume from the tarragon and the tang of the vinegar and the lemon juice is going to be so good with the fish. Now you can serve this hot, warm, or even room temperature, okay? So I'm going to keep it just warm for the moment. So that's the first part of the recipe, very simple. The next bit, which is kind of the end of the recipe, we're going to cook the fish and asparagus. So we'll get that on full whack in the same pan, and we're going to steam. So steaming is a beautiful, elegant, very healthy, clean method of cooking, right? And I think it's particularly good with fish. So I'm going to add just 1 centimetre of water to a pan and bring that to the boil. Now, I've got 2 lovely portions of cod here. You could have pollock, megrim, whatever is sustainable, whatever is local. You know, you can have real fun with this. But what I have to do in this steaming method is cook the asparagus at the same time as the fish. So this is about 4 minutes, right? I reckon that's going to take about 5 minutes. So you can control how quickly your fish cooks by how you choose to cut it. And it's as simple as cut it in half. Now, when I steam that, that's 4 minutes. That's going to cook at the same time as that. And this asparagus is beautiful. It's really nice seasonal veg. What I want to do is take that woody end off. Now this, don't throw away. This makes the most amazing soup. A stew, fantastic in broths, or you can even compost it. We should all be composting. And this asparagus will now go on the bottom of the pan and become a trivet for putting the fish on top. I want to season the cod with some salt all over. I don't want to do it with pepper because I want it to stay pearly white and clean. So put your fish like that, boom, boom. How beautiful is that? And then lid on top. So we're boiling on the bottom and we're steaming on the top. This is going to be amazing. 4 minutes, that's it, 4 minutes, couple of minutes. Mate, we're doing really well. So let's do kind of what you would call a garnish. Let me just wash my hands and clean my knife. So I'll take these 2 white parts of the base of 2 spring onions, cut them in half, and try and use your best knife skills just to slice them up as thin as you can. Now, a nice little tip here is if you get some iced water, these will all curl up and go extra crunchy. And that will apply to anything crunchy you want to slice up. It could be a radish, it could be a chili, it could be even herbs. Literally just water and a few ice cubes is all you need. And now I just want to pick a few leaves of that tarragon. Just sort of helps finish it off really nicely. Give that a little mix. Now, I can't help myself but to put a little bit of chili in there as well. Just a couple of bits of chili, but you can see, look at the colours. Just gorgeous. And guys, that's it. Look how simple this is to plate up, right? Plate, sauce, couple of tablespoons goes on. Just use the back of the spoon just to kind of move it around a little bit. Then the fish comes off, right? It's done. Look at the lovely chunks of cod. Be delicate with them. And get your lovely asparagus and place this like that on top. And this probably feels more pedantic than I would normally do, but I don't care because I'm kind of excited. Place the fish on top. Some of this lovely spring onion, chili and tarragon, and just whip off the cold water. And we'll just kind of hold that on top like that. And that's it. And even if you do this badly and roughly, it will be beautiful. Really fresh, really healthy, really vivacious. A little kiss of lovely olive oil. And that is a beautiful, beautiful dish. In the middle of the week, come on, darling, want a little bit of lunch? There you go. Oh, what's that? Oh, I've got a nice little avocado hollandaise. Oh, what you been doing now? Oh, yeah, seconds. Lovely steamed fish and asparagus. Oh, you must have worked so hard. Seconds. Well, minutes. So there we go. I think it's fresh, it's really healthy, and super beautiful. Just look at that. Right, let's get in there. Let's just get the perfect little mouthful. Bit of asparagus, bit of sauce. Let's have a little bit of tarragon. You still get that richness from the avocado. The tang from the lemon juice and the vinegar is so good. And then that method of steaming the fish, look how it just flakes. Look at that. It just literally flakes apart. So delicate. It's a lovely little mouthful. It's full of flavour, full of texture. Classy, really classy. And the three things work so well together. Wow, what a dish. This, my friends, is the ultimate sandwich. It's a stuffed loaf with grilled chicken and layer upon layer of delicious ingredients, and it's got a dipping sauce. Come on, let's do this. So it's super simple. We've got a griddle pan on. I've just put that on full whack. I've got 2 chicken breasts here. Butterfly them. Going to one side of the chicken breast and just carefully cutting halfway through. By cutting in half, you're making it bigger. It can take on seasoning and flavor much better, and absolutely it's gonna speed up the cooking by twice. And you can just score down there as well if you want. And I'm not gonna season it at this point, okay? I'm gonna season it later. Straight into the griddle pan. Let's wash my hands properly. Let's get some other jobs done. Slice the courgettes about ½ a centimetre thick. Then with the peppers, push that little kind of stalk in and then tear open. That will allow you to take the seeds and the stalk, and we can lose that. These lovely halves, just tap the seeds out and rip them into quarters. Super simple. In no time at all, you can see the chicken is cooking in a really beautiful way. Just turn it over. Look at those lovely golden bar marks. Now, next up, we want to get a nice gem lettuce like this and slice it up as fine as you can. And then next, avocado. We love it. We love avocados. Now what we want is a little welcoming party to the chicken and the veg once we've grilled them. So what we're gonna do is just add some olive oil to this tray, season it with some salt and pepper, the juice of ½ a lemon. So that's a nice, simple little marinade dressing. Let's just get that chicken and put it into that dressing and bathe it. And of course, it's gonna rest. And when it rests, the natural lovely juices will come out wonderful. Now, more grilling to do. So in this griddle pan, we're now going to go in with the courgettes, and let's just char them on both sides. And then see all these juices in the tray. Look at that. This is such good flavour. So into there, just simply move them around in all those lovely juices. It's going to taste delicious. Slice up my avocado, and then last but not least, let's get the peppers in. So as that's marinating and this is blistering and charring, I want to show you the little trick with this round loaf. Now get yourself a nice cob round loaf. It could be multi-seed, whole grain, sourdough. Just take the top off and just pull away the soft, fluffy inside. With this center part, you will never ever waste that. That will make the best croutons. It will thicken a beautiful soup. So look, once you've hollowed that out, we can start layering up the flavors. So we'll go in just like that and pack it and push it down. So we've got the peppers here, and in they go, again, making a nice defined layer. Then it's time for the chicken. Just tear it up with your hands and make a really good layer. Avocado, and last but not least, the gem lettuce. You think it won't go in, just get it in there, stuff it in. Don't go wasting anything. Juices, go in. It's gonna be so blooming scrumptious. It's all flavor. So what we wanna do is apply some pressure. So we'll wrap it up tight, put it in the fridge and put something on top of it to apply pressure. That's just gonna make the layers compress, the flavors mix. Leave it for a couple of hours ideally, and it will be amazing. Time to make a delicious dipping sauce. So a brilliant little healthier swap is to use yogurt, 4 tablespoons, and then we're gonna flavor it up with Parmesan. And you want about 10 grams, and the flavor is phenomenal. Just a little bit of parsley, finely chop it. Get that in there like that. And then we've got ½ a lemon left that we haven't used. Just grate that lovely yellow part of the skin, and it's gonna maximize flavor. And then of course, squeeze every last bit of juice out of that. To give it a nice little mix up, delicious. Now, time for the loaf. Here it is. Take it out of that wrapping, nicely squashed, nicely marinated. This is gonna be brilliant. And then when you cut inside it, well, you can have a look for yourself. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. A sandwich like you've never seen before. Is something a little bit different. So of course, when it comes to noshing on a little bit, take some of that lovely dipping sauce, beautiful. One little tiny stroke of this Parmesan cheese again. Oh, let's get it. Right, the moment of truth. It's not gonna be pretty, guys, but who cares? Full mouth, 1 minute. I love it. It's a proper proper comforting sandwich. This is a delicious smoothie breakfast bowl. It's fun, it's colourful, and it's full of life. In here, in a blender, we're gonna add a couple of bananas. Now, when I have my fruit bowl at home, often there's bananas on the turn. So before they go too far, and they might end up in the bin, no, we don't wanna go there. So often I'll peel a couple of bananas, put them in a bag in the freezer, right? So these are just nicely overripe in a really beautiful way. 2 of them in a blender. I want about 30 grams of porridge oats. So this is just a fantastic ingredient. Most people have it in their cupboards already, but what it does is allow slow release energy. It's gonna keep you full until lunch, and it's really, really good for you. We're also gonna add a little layer of flavor, a pinch, just a pinch, of cinnamon. And that cinnamon with that slightly overripe, sort of almost toffee-like banana is gonna be delicious. Now, what's good and what's a kind of nice, healthy little swap is instead of buying just another sugary cereal, we're kind of using natural sugars that are in beautiful banana, but full of goodness, right? So it's a nice little swap like that. Now, the carrier of this smoothie is yogurt. And I just want to use some really gorgeous yogurt. I want about 300 mils. I'm just going to pour that in. It's about 3/4 of that tub. There we go. And we'll give it a little blast. Super simple. In literally 20 seconds, you can wazz that up and then put about 3/4 of that into the bowls. Just divide it up. And then the magic starts. Leave a third in the blender because now we're gonna add some frozen fruit to this and it's gonna be delicious. It is just a brilliant and affordable thing to have in your freezer. So I've got a nice little mixed bag of blackberries, bramble kind of fruit. I need 120 grams of frozen fruit. It smells amazing. And as soon as we whiz that up, it's gonna go thick, cold, refreshing, and delicious. So the lid goes on. So if it looks a little thick, because your fruit is really frozen, add a little splash of milk, that's no problem at all. And simply divide into the 4 bowls again. It's the simplest thing in the world, super, super quick. So for me, the idea of this breakfast is breaking the monotony, not the same old, same old. I don't want it to be boring. So let's have some fun with it. I literally get a little teaspoon, use the wrong end, and just kind of go through the middle and kind of just have a little bit of fun here. So this looks really fun, but this is not a complete breakfast. We have fruit, we have protein from the yogurt, but let's get some beautiful good things, nuts, seeds, fiber, stuff like that. So if we look at things like cereal, we want to be using cereals that are low sugar. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and just kind of break it up to one side, some chunks, some little broken bits, a nice little muesli in there. So look, the nice thing about this is you can use up any odds and ends from your cereal. And then what's really nice for flavor is some peanut butter, just a little teaspoon. It's so good. And that combination of the sweet, sour, and then that sort of frumpiness of the beautiful peanut butter, which I love, is delicious. And then if you want to up the healthiness as well, things like nuts and seeds are just brilliant. It's just a really easy way of getting the good stuff in your family or yourself. And if you want to go back to your frozen fruit, of course you can get that on top. Really beautiful. So there you go, lovely people. That is our beautiful little fruit smoothie breakfast bowls. Right, let's have a little try. Let's get in there, get a bit of the old peanut butter, some crunchy bits. So what we're going to do today is a really simple, really delicious veggie quesadilla. This is basically like a Mexican cheese on toast. So this is also a brilliant way to get veggies in the kids. So today in the fridge, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't got loads and loads in the fridge. You know, I've got like 1 chicken, bunch of veg, bit of fruit. I haven't got everything that I need to make this, and that's good, right? So I haven't got spring onions or onions, I've got leeks. And a little tip, if you just take the sort of outer part of the leeks out, and by the way, we'll waste nothing. The inner part, the white part of the leek, is very delicate and very sort of equivalent to a spring onion. So we're going to use that, and I'm going to finely slice that. So this here, we will waste none of that, right? We're never going to waste that. That will go into soups and stews and nice things like that. So that's the first part. We've got just standard red peppers. We'll just sort of split these in half and remove the seeds, of course. If you haven't got fresh peppers, jarred like anti-pasty peppers are really, really good as well. This is an opportunity for you to get all kinds of lovely things in here. So you could just dice up some tomatoes, squeeze out the pips. I'm going to grate in some carrot as well. You know, you can do things like grilled veggies that you chop up, even broccoli and stuff like that. So with the leeks, what I want to do is just finely slice those like that. And if you're at all worried about chopping, then the safest method of chopping is to cross chop, right? And basically cross chopping means that you've got your hand on the handle and the other hand like this. So if you want a really safe method of chopping, this is it, guys. And you use the knife kind of like a trowel. Just put everything in the middle and you finely chop all of that stuff. I'll put all my chopped things like that. So with the peppers, I quite like seeing like little dices of the peppers. Just slice them up into little lengths and then we'll slice the other way. The first time I had a quesadilla was about 25 years ago, and Jules worked in, do you remember you worked in Maxwell's?
Yeah.
And she used to work very late nights until about 1:30 in the morning, and I used to go in there after work. And it's just like, it's really delicious. Like crisp, you know, tortillas, you know, the kind of oozy, bendy cheese. So look, you can also use a box grater just to grate the veg as well. So this all goes in to this lovely tray. This will be the half of our filling. Now the other part of our filling is cheese. Cheese is really important. That's kind of like the glue that makes everything stick together and makes that lovely ooziness. So I'm going to grate some cheddar in. So we'll have a little grate up, and it's really nice to blend your cheeses actually. Of course, in Mexico they wouldn't use cheddar, but cheddar, red Leicester, they really do melt beautifully and they taste delicious. We're making enough quesadillas here for 7 people. And of course, Little River probably will only need a quarter, but he'll want a whole one in front of him because he'll want it round and all that kind of malarkey.
He's a toddler.
Yeah, and then like the little ones will probably have half. Teenagers will probably have a whole one. So it kind of just depends. So look, I've got cheddar here, a nice wodge of it. I think always like 50-50 looks pretty good, right? What I tend to do is I'll rattle this up, I'll mix it up. So normally you put coriander in this if you were going to kind of stay on point. Mint is really, really good. So herbs in there, just parsley and a little bit of mint. So that's nice. So what I love about this recipe is I haven't actually met anyone that doesn't like it. Everyone seems to like quesadillas.
I think I must just chip in. The good thing about this is it's that same old boring hidden veg thing. So children will eat this because sometimes they have no clue what's in it. Could you put like sweet potato in as well?
If you roast a sweet potato,
yeah,
or a squash, then it's all soft and caramelised, and then that will be fantastic. You can just put it in there. But
Yeah.
I've just knocked up a couple of very simple salads out the back. Can you make the dressing, please?
Yes.
You know the drill, don't you?
there's a jam jar out there somewhere.
I'm just adding a little bit more cheese just as I go, because actually it's quite a large proportion of veg here. And look, you have to have the right amount of cheese, otherwise it just won't ooze and it won't stick. What's great about this dish is you can wrap them out in the morning, stack them up, leave them out. When it's lunchtime, pan on, and you can just toast them sort of like a couple of minutes each side. Happy days. Also, these tortillas are fantastic. If you see them, I'm sure you've all bought them before, nothing new there, but they're really good to freeze and they're really handy to have in the freezer. So, stack, looking good. Now I can whack on this gas and we'll start to cook, because we're actually having this for lunch, aren't we, Jay?
Yeah.
Right then, you lovely folks, get this pan on kind of medium-high heat. We don't want to make these golden dark too quick because we want the cheese to melt and go oozy inside. So I'm going to put the quesadillas into a dry pan, good non-stick pan you need for this. I don't want to add any more oil. I like it to be crisp and fresh and have all the kind of unctuous filling inside.
How long do these take?
So I reckon these take about 2.5 minutes on each side until they're golden and toasty. You don't want the pan too hot because then what happens is the tortillas go brown and crisp and then the inside is just cold and raw. So you want the perfect kind of speed. So medium heat, golden brown, both sides, that should be nice. Now, we're gonna do 2 dips with this. So we've got some standard yogurt. and we're going to kind of treat that like the sour cream. Then I've got hummus, which I know a lot of you do have because the UK consumes more hummus than most countries on the planet. Now, in my opinion, I know it's normally like crisps that get dipped into it and stuff like that, but this is pretty boring. So what I always do to embellish mine is a little bit of lemon or lime to really bring a little bit of kind of life into it, and then a little pinch of salt, and then a kiss normally of some nice extra virgin olive oil just makes it delicious. So just give it a little stir up in here. So each plate will have some nice toasty quesadillas, a nice little lob of hummus that you've brought back to life. You can put some herbs in here as well if you've got them around. And you can spice it again with sort of chilies or grilled peppers, stuff like that. That will be much, much nicer now. Test it if you don't trust me. So let's have a little look at this. Oh, look at that. Really nice. They're nice and toasty. You can see what's happening on the inside. It's all starting to melt slowly, slowly. So it's still got a bit more time. Oh, it's going nice. Look at that up in there, babe. So these are at about 3 minutes on each side. Look at that. Let's have a little look inside. Yes! Woo. Turn that out. I can put the next one on, like that. What's important is to let this cool down for at least a minute. Just let it cool down because it's molten lava in there. It's too runny, too hot, you'll burn your mouth. And then uncook another one. And then basically there's like a kind of constant supply of delicious quesadillas coming out at their best. So I'll cut this into like quarters or eighths. So I'm going to rack out these quesadillas. I think they look beautiful. Jules, are you happy with this, girl?
Yeah, it's amazing, really nice.
We're going to serve this with the hummus, with the yogurt instead of the sour cream. But if you've got sour cream, brilliant. If you haven't got hummus, you can either make it with tinned chickpeas, or you could have a guacamole, or you can make a tomato salsa. But it's a very, very flexible dish. Look how lovely and hot and steamy that is. Gorgeous. So what I'll do is I'll put the hummus there. Look at that, come on. You know you want it. Absolutely delicious. So we've got the beautiful, crisp quesadilla on this side, and then just load it up with the yogurt, the chili sauce, give it a little bend up. Oh, look at that. Happy days. So good. It is posh cheese on toast from Mexico, but the flavors are amazing. It's really, really fresh. And for me, that little hit of chili sauce just lifts it all up. Hi guys, hope you're well. Okay, we're gonna make a really delicious, nutritious, super quick chicken meal. This is marinated chicken with lemon and spices, grilled on the char grill and served with smashed sweet potato and beautiful sprouting broccoli with a little olives. Let's get into the spirit and the idea behind a marinade. Down here, we have got spices, black pepper here, paprika, cayenne, we've got the turmeric, and a little seasoning of salt. Take this as a recipe, and if you don't like the spice, you can pull it back, you can try different spices, you can make it your own. So I'm gonna grate some garlic in here, take my little lemon, cut in half, lemon to one side. The fragrant skin is unbelievably tasty. We'll squeeze the lemon juice in, like this. I'm just gonna finely chop the parsley here, and in it goes. And then just a little piece of onion. There's acidity in the onion, and this acidity works in marinades to really help penetrate the flavor in. I've got a little bit of tomato puree here, just a little heaped teaspoon like that. And then we'll start bringing it together. And normally I'd use an olive oil, but I'm using rapeseed oil here. Look at that, right? That is flavor right there. Get your chicken breast, cut that chicken breast in half. I'm gonna get that marinade, rub it all over. And of course, if you could leave this in the fridge overnight, fantastic. So I've got a griddle pan on full whack. We're gonna go in to the char grill like this. Also, I've got the lemon here. We're gonna char grill that. And this is interesting because when you char grill a lemon, instead of just getting acidic lemon juice, you get sweet and sour. So guys, look, let's have a little look. This has had about a minute and a half. Look at the colour, guys, look at the colour. And that is flavour. It's caramelising, look at that. So I want to kind of pair it up with sprouting broccoli here. Boiled sweet potato, gonna smash it. And let's plate up. Very simple midweek dinner that's tasty and really, really healthy. That is done. Look at that, guys. Some nice sprouting broccoli here. Little olives. If you just break over just a couple, the flavour is phenomenal. Got the lemon that's char grilled. Just finish that of that lovely rapeseed oil. Squeeze that lemon over the top. Should we have a little try? Yum. Very, very good. That's absolutely delicious. A lovely, quick, midweek meal, full of flavour, full of flavour. And if you want more inspiration, go to jamieoliver.com. We've got loads of recipes, loads of chicken recipes. But guys, get marinating. It's great. Take care. I'm gonna give you my recipe for the quickest, easiest buffalo style wings. Really delicious. A couple of little hacks to making these wings eat beautifully and just fall off the bone. I'm keeping it super simple so you can knock it out really quickly and really simply. So it's a £1 wonder, all happens in there. We're gonna start with the rub first. First ingredient is a brilliant ingredient for us all to have in our pantries. That's smoked paprika. And it couldn't be simpler. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika goes in. Then we're gonna go in with some cayenne pepper. Another level teaspoon. So that's a little bit of heat going there, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of heat. We love that. Ground garlic. Easy to get. Again, another little teaspoon, right? So it's gonna give you that lovely kind of funky pong, really delicious. And then a curveball ingredient, a little bit of bicarbonate of soda. Now this gives you a kind of crispiness. It helps to pull the moisture out of the chicken wings and push the marinade into it. So it's a nice little curveball ingredient there. And then of course, a nice generous seasoning of salt and pepper goes in. So that is basically our rub. Mix it up, and that is going to be so tasty and give a lovely dimension to our lovely wings. Now, let's talk about wings. These are lovely free-range chicken wings. I want to give you the option of a little preparation that I love and all my kids absolutely adore. First of all, what I want to do is you've got the 3 parts of the wing, right? The little winglet, the smaller wing, and the fatter wing. I'm going to go to that little joint. It's very simple to do. Get a knife, and I'm just going to cut through the joint here, and there's the small wing like that. We've got the wing and winglet here, right? And just eating that off the bone is kind of super old school, very traditional, the lovely sweet meat. It's gonna be juicy and delicious. But then I wanna give you a hack for changing things up a bit, turning this humble bit of a wing into a little lollipop, right? So to do that, we go to that little knuckle here, rotate the bone and cut around it like this, right? Then grab the bone and take the tip of the knife and just push. Can you see? Just push the meat off the bone and you've got that incredible little lollipop like that, okay? So it's a completely different vibe. And again, it's the same sweet, delicious meat, but those little hacks, I think, are what people remember. You know, everyone's had wings, they've had them 1,000 ways. It's nice to change things up. So you get a bit of meat there, nibble that off, and you get that lovely end like that. Go in with the lollipops and the winglets. Just mix it up, and let's get the flavor happening. There you go. You can see how it's taken on all of that beautiful flavor. Let me just wash my hands, and then we'll get that in the oven. So, what we're gonna do now is cook those chicken wings for 25 minutes at 220 degrees Celsius, which is 430 Fahrenheit. So in the oven for 25 minutes until crispy and golden, and then I'll show you how to glaze it. So the chicken's had 25 minutes. It smells amazing. Have a little look at that. So in that short amount of time, you get some real nice texture, crispiness, sizzle. I'm gonna put it on a low heat, and then we're gonna start adding the glaze ingredients. So first up, we're gonna go in with just a knob of butter. In some of the traditional recipes, oh my God, I've never seen so much butter used, but we're gonna try and restrain ourselves. So this will never be healthy for sure, but we can make it healthier. I'm gonna use a cider vinegar, really, really nice. So that goes in with the butter, and it also starts to clean the pan. All those sticky bits of chickeny goodness Next up, we're going to go in with Worcestershire sauce. Then we're going to go in with a tablespoon of Frank's Red Hot Original Cayenne Pepper Sauce. Come on. And then last but not least, a nice tablespoon of runny honey. Give it a little shake. Look at the shine. Come on, look at that. Oh, beautiful. So what I like to do now is pop it back into the oven and turn the oven off. I don't want to carry on cooking the glaze because I don't want it to burn. I just want that residual heat of the oven to make that glaze perfectly stick to every little wing. It's going to be amazing. So look, absolutely you could serve that as a plate of wings with a beer, happy days. Midweek meal, I just love it with really plain steamed or boiled rice, nice little pile of it with a nice little shred or chopped salad for a little bit of tang and crunch. And with that and a little fried egg is just a thing of joy. But let me show you what I'm going to do. First up, I'm going to just shred some spring onions. So just finely slice it, go as fine as you can. It's not really my speed, but traditionally, often they have the beautiful kind of blue cheese sauce to go with their buffalo wings. I've done a kind of play on it. I'm still not convinced, but I've done it with Stilton cheese, a really good one, with some yogurt. The question is, for me, is that is kind of like, there's a lot going on. But look, you know, you can make your own mind up. I'm gonna serve it on a nice big platter. So blue cheese there. We've got these amazing wings. Look at that, fantastic, shiny and delicious. Let's just serve these up. The glaze is just sticking to it beautifully. So in with the wings first. Then you've got those fantastic little lollipops. Look, how cool are they? Take some of those spring onions and just sprinkle it over the top. And there you go, look at that. Beautiful buffalo wings. A little £1 wonder. So straightforward, so quick to do. And look at that glaze. So let's have a little try. Full of flavour. Those wings are absolutely amazing. Quick, easy, straightforward. A brilliant little hack on how to get those little lollipops. Great. It's really good. I'm so pleased. Yummy. Hello, you lovely people. Okay, I am here with Tom Walker.
Hello.
I'm so happy to see you, bro.
It's a pleasure, man.
You've had the most incredible 6 months in the wonderful world of music.
Uh-huh.
Albums out.
Yep, album's out.
Singles out.
Brit Awards, no big deal.
I know.
You know?
I know, Brit Award, dude.
It's like I know what I'm doing almost.
No, what's happened? What's happened? Diary's busy.
Diary's busy, but I'm glad we made some time for this.
When you're busy, you've got to get fed, right?
Yeah.
So where we're coming together is this nice thing between music and food. You're a big fan of chicken wings.
I am.
I do love a wing, right? I'm also a massive lover of the drumstick, so
Yeah.
I didn't really want to discriminate. I am going to marinate this in the chili sauce, a special chili sauce.
It looks vibrant.
The Oliver Walker chili sauce.
Ooh.
So if you want the recipe to this mighty chili sauce, click the link or swipe up, or the details are on the video. We're going to marinate it in this chili sauce. As I know that you're a lover of chili sauce, I took the liberty of actually doing my main man's very own label.
Oh man, thank you so much. That's
So
wicked.
every time you get some, if you get chicken wings that are not so good, add a bit. In actual
Right.
fact, if you get anything that's not
I'm
so
just
good,
gonna like take this everywhere with me. Just put that on show
the marinade
here.
on. If you think about what's in the marinade, you got herbs, you got garlic,
Yeah.
you got vinegar, you got oil, you got a blend of chilies and dried chilies as well. So actually, it's a homemade marinade wanting to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pimp it up a little bit with a bulb of garlic.
Oh yes.
Now I just want to grab some herbs, and there's no
Nice.
real rules here. We're just busking it. Bit of rosemary, bit of the old sage. Grab some salt and
Yeah,
season it up
100%,
for me.
Absolutely.
So, chili sauce, bit of garlic and herbs.
Right.
That's all we've done. And then if you can grab that tin foil for me, bro.
Right.
I'm gonna wash my hands. So this recipe is sort of like two-toned, right?
Right.
The legs and the wings, as you know, are tough. We want to tenderize them.
Right.
So we'll cover them first. And this is gonna go in the oven
Lovely.
for an hour.
Right.
So that's the first bit. 190 degrees Celsius, which is like 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Woo.
This is what the chicken looks like after an hour. You can see there's a lot of steam happening, right? The marinade and that kind of natural gravy have come out of.
I wish there was smell-o-vision right now. I wish we could like describe the smells that are going on because they are absolutely sublime.
And then if you look in here,
Yeah.
see the fat come to the top.
Oh yeah.
All I want to do is just use a little spoon to sort of take that off and pour just the fat back over the chicken. And we're going to roast this again in the oven.
Right.
For nearly another hour. That'll go golden and crispy all over. So, in it goes. So did you have slaw at like school dinners and stuff like that?
Yeah, 100%.
So we want to do an exciting one. So if you
Lovely.
can have a grate up on the apple, but don't grate yourself because those hands are worth a lot of money now.
Carrot.
Mr. Carrot.
Mr. Carrot.
As long as you've got the cabbage and the onion in there and the carrot,
Yeah.
you can kind of have real fun with it. Like apples, pears, different types of cabbage, anything crunchy. So with that slaw, if you take off that box grater, it probably looks like a kind of rainbow kind of veg castle.
Right, I feel like get rid of some of this.
So we're going to hit that with cider vinegar and a good seasoning of salt and pepper.
Nice.
A little olive oil, any random soft herbs, whatever you can get your hands on. So you have a little, just kind of like dress it and a little scrunch up. Ooh, straightforward, it takes seconds.
Beautiful.
Now, this chicken has had an hour. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, that's looking good.
Sizzling. I've just added a little bit of those chicken juices and it just glazes it beautifully. Ooh. Look at that. So listen, what I'm going to do is put this tray just like on a roast chicken. See all that sticky goodness on the bottom?
Yeah.
So I'm now going to put this juice back in and I'm just going to boil it up so it's like a nice gravy, okay?
With hot sauce in it as well.
Yes. I've got some sweet potatoes that I've roasted up.
Lovely.
Just 1 hour. But what I want to do is while this is gorgeous and sticky,
Yeah.
is just put a coating on it and I've got some peanuts here.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Just smash it up and just sprinkle it over the top. It gives it the nicest crunch, the nicest flavour.
This is something I've not seen in the chicken wing world before.
And then
It's barbecue heaven, basically, isn't it? This in the garden in the summertime. Outrageous. It's chicken wing time.
let's kick this off here.
Look at that.
Go on, bro. Before you go in.
Hang about here, come on.
No, the most important thing in culinary history is just develop between
That's
us.
true.
And go on, introduce it.
Oh, hot sauce gravy.
Come on, you know it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
So it should be tender, it should be crisp,
It is.
and it should be blooming
It's
tasty.
delightful. Oh my God. That's one of the best wings I've ever had in my life, and I'm not just saying that.
Really?
It's like ridiculously good. Oh man.
And with the Tom Walker chili sauce, man.
Well, that's
what
it.
more
That's
do you want in life?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Who needs
And
to sell
hot
albums
sauce
when you've got
gravy.
chili sauce, right?
I think I might just stop music and just start producing hot sauce gravy immediately. Go on, get a go here.
Can I nick a bit of yours?
You need to.
A little bit of your slaw.
Oh,
It's got the heat, but the tang, and a nice sweetness to it as well. Let's talk about scallops. Diver caught scallops. Look at these. What a trophy of the sea. Scallops are a real weekend treat for people you love. This is about a luxurious, gorgeous thing where you can concentrate, focus, and blow people away. So if you're gonna spend that little bit more on something as delicious and as delicate as these little beauties, you've got to take your time. Get the best ingredients and really aim for perfection. When I was a kid, I'd never tasted these. All I knew is there was some dodgy dinner parties with these as ashtrays. Fantastic. So put your knife in, just wingle it in there, run it down the back of the flat side of the shell. The closer you get to that, the least scallop you waste, okay? Remove that skirt. This little black part here, you can kind of pull that away. So get rid of that. And then you're left with the roe. The roe's kind of small on this one, so you might as well just get rid of it. So look, there you have the brilliant scallop. You can just run your knife down the side and just disconnect it from the bottom of that shell. And there you have it. One of the most fantastic shellfish out there. So I've got some smoked bacon here. I just want to dice it up into nice chunky lardons. It's nice and fatty, and that's going to provide crispiness and that kind of savouriness that's going to really work with the scallops. I mean, God, pigs, shellfish couldn't be so far apart in the world, but together, they're so good. I want to show you a little preparation. Get your knife and go halfway down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to go sage. You know, to many, a very unusual herb. You know, you're taught at college never to use woody herbs with seafood. Absolute rubbish. This is wonderful with seafood. Fry up your smoked bacon in a little olive oil. We need to focus now. This is about really precise, incredible cooking and flavours that match together. No mucking about. The minute that this bacon gets golden, pull it to one side. That fat leans down to one side and we go in with the sage. The sage goes through an incredible transformation now. It goes from a frumpy old woody herb into like kind of crackling. Add a knob of butter, a light seasoning with salt, and we go cut side down. So in with the scallops. We're just gonna let it cook mainly 70% on that cut side to get gorgeous caramelization, then a flip over and sort of 30% of cooking on the other side. So it's precision, right? We've got to get it right. I'm serving my scallops with a rich buttery mash. Hopefully, if we flip it, it's going to be perfect. And as soon as you turn it over, you see that, it just kind of pushes out. We're going to get some lemon, and we're going to let it just fry with the butter and lemon, and just watch what happens. And that little bit of lemon will just kiss the scallops. Gorgeous. This is just for people you love. Sage leaves are absolutely edible to the hilt. Something very, very special. It's exciting. You can see it, smell it. It's kind of that heat control and proper cooking, and a combination and dynamic of flavour that will just make you smile. And if that wasn't indulgent enough, I've got another shellfish treat to get your weekend rocking. Let's do something a bit different, come on. I'm just gonna put a whole load of oysters in there, and the heat will take some time to go through. Gorgeous. Simple fresh oysters are delicious, but cooking them takes them to a whole new level. And I'm gonna cook them gently in ash until they pop open in about 10 minutes. But to take them up another level, I want to make a perfect sauce. Half a pack of butter. I want to make a Tabasco beurre noisette. That, sizzling over a popped, cooked oyster, is going to be heavenly. So notice in the pan, it's kind of getting brown here, okay? So we're letting it sizzle. You can see that beurre noisette's going to give you that meaty kind of nuttiness. It's quite hot, so I can bring it up here. I'm going to go in with some lemon juice. Shake, shake, shake. We'll put it back on the heat just to bring that back to the boil. I'm going to hit it up with Tabasco. The fiery Tabasco will add a fabulous zing to the sauce and lift the whole dish. So just keep moving it around. And I'm watching it like a hawk for that moment where the fat and the lemon juice just goes a little bit creamy. Finish it with a little seasoning and my sauce is ready for the oysters. I'm just going to put a little lick of that with an ash-cooked oyster. Is going to be incredible. Sometimes they kind of cook closed to see if it's cooked inside. Yeah, you can see how easy that is. That's cooked all right. Something quite prehistoric about cooking like this. There's still juices coming out. This is just for people you love. Intimate party. Share that juice around. And just fill up those little shells. Let's try one. A completely different experience. Heat, lemon, those lovely sort of caramelly flavours from the butter. Really good. Hey guys, hope you're well. So I'm going to show you a really nice, easy dish that's delicious. It's a tray-baked chicken dish that we're going to have with tortillas and salad and a little bit of corn in there. It's going to be delicious. It's a family favorite dish, which all happens in one tray. So what we're going to do is kind of have a welcoming party of flavor. How are we going to do it? We're going to have a little bit of olive oil in there, and then about the same of red wine vinegar, and then we'll kiss it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we've got the flavor that I love. About a teaspoon of smoked paprika goes in. That is what's going to flavor this dish. Put the tray forward. We're going to go in with 2 peeled onions that I'm just going to quarter. And see these little petals like that? Just pull them off and they'll just be beautiful by the time the chicken's cooked. And then we've got the chicken. Now, chicken thighs are just a brilliant cut of meat. They're so juicy and tender. So I'm gonna put the chicken in here like that, And then I'm gonna use my hands, just give it a nice little massage up, place the chicken on top of the onions, and when they cook together, it's gonna be the most beautiful harmonies. And then last but not least in this tray, cherry tomatoes, okay? I'm gonna put a pack of these cherry tomatoes in. That's basically 250 grams. And imagine all of this cooking, right? It goes in the oven. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Okay, I'm gonna put this straight in the oven and we'll cook it for 45 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Now let's just talk about tortillas. A really good swap that is more delicious and definitely much more nutritious is to go from the white tortilla to the wholemeal tortilla. 2 or 3 times more fiber, but also more flavor. So I'll show you how to prep the tortillas a little bit later. But first up, what I want to do is show you a technique of cooking the beautiful sweet corn. So you can do these on a barbecue, lovely, and you'll get that smokiness. But another way to kind of get a similar char is to go into a pan, dry, and just char it and turn it around. So we're gonna cook this for like 10, 12 minutes on a medium-high heat. You can see that charring that you get, really nice. Just keep rotating that corn, and once it's all charred up like that, it's gonna be amazing. So the chicken's had its time, the corn is getting nice and charred up. Let's talk about the crunchy bits, salad. So you can have fun with any salad you've got, but I've got the humble gem lettuce here. You can just have kind of big chunks if you want, or you can finely slice it, just so it's nice and delicate and really fine. So we've got our salad bit here. We could take this corn on the cob and just have it whole, as we always do, or you can take it whole and just half it. Be careful though, cut it in half. But what my ones love is when you take it off of the corn and you just put it on the fat bit like that. Take a knife, don't put pressure on it, and just run it gently down the corn like that. And you can see how hot and steamy that is. So look, that'll go over there. Now next up, with the tortilla, we just want to warm them through. Literally on one side actually. Get yourself a nice little clean tea towel and just place it here like that. I don't want to get them crispy, I just want to reheat them. So 2 at a time. Every time you put the tortillas in, just wrap them up like this, okay? So that will keep it nice and warm and steamy, but most importantly, flexible, so you can wrap it up and it will be gorgeous. So look, the last 2 done in your little tea towel here. And then here, the tray bake. And the thing that I love about tray bakes is that everything cooking together. The smokiness, the sweetness, I can smell it all. It's really beautiful. So what we want to do is get 2 forks and then basically just pull apart that chicken. Can you see how tender that is? The sweetness from the tomatoes and the onions with that spice of the smoked paprika, which is such a great seasoning to have in your home. Get all the sticky bits from around the edge of the tray, and you can serve this in the middle of the table. So it's like beautiful, organized chaos. Now, the only thing I love to do is just have a little bit of yogurt, a nice little pinch maybe of the smoked paprika, just to kind of give it a little bit of a vibe. An optional extra as well, lemon or lime, and that's it. Easy to put together, easy to cook, and then easy to serve, and it's a real crowd pleaser. For kids or adults, it's happy days. I love just to kind of line up those sweet onions first. The gorgeous crushed tomato and chicken, look at that. A sprinkle of the beautiful sweet corn and a little bit of that crunchy lettuce, and just that kind of nice refreshment of a little bit of yogurt if you wish, and if you want, a squeeze of lime. Roll it up. What I love about that is it's fun, but the juiciness and the depth of flavour from the tray bake is phenomenal. So guys, come on, have a little cook up. You won't regret it. Enjoy. I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful veggie enchilada. This is a great Mexican-inspired dish. It's a great way to get veggies into your life in a cool, contemporary way that makes you feel happy, right? So let's start off with the tomato sauce. Very, very simple. Get yourself a large casserole pan, right? We are going to prep in this, and we're going to cook in this, and we're going to serve in this, right? So one thing to wash up. We like that. I am going to blacken and scald vegetables. So let's get flavour happening. So this tomato sauce happens using peppers, 4 tomatoes, as ripe as possible, a handful of spring onions. I'll nick one out for the salsa later. A couple of garlic cloves. It is simple as that. So look, let me show you a cool way to de-seed the peppers. Use one thumb and shove it in there. And then you can crack it open, right? Tap out the seeds. We'll put the peppers into our pan. So thumb in, tear, tap, squash. Spring onions. If you've got a gas hob, you might not, but if you have, you can just put these onions on the gas and scald them up. So let's just jiggle those about. Same thing with the tomatoes, but I'll do that in the pan. 2 garlic cloves can go in. There's no oil in this pan, it's dry. Like you're dry frying, you're scalding, you're charring. Chili, you take your choice, right? But what I would suggest is just take the little green bits off the end, and I would probably advise removing the seeds just because that's where the heat is. If you don't like hot food, that's fine. Use a little bit of chili in the background. It doesn't have to blow your mind or even be registered. It can just be there, supporting all the other flavors. This little bit of blackening here is just what I wanted. If you just have a look here, can you see we've just steamed it and charred it? See how that's just soft now? So that's what we want. We're gonna take our liquidizer. A lot of parents talking about the trouble and strife of getting the good stuff in their kids. And the reality and the true answer is there's no one silver bullet. It is a lifelong battle. And if you get it right half the time, you're extraordinary. So don't beat yourself up, parents. So in here, I'm gonna add just a kiss of olive oil. I'm gonna put a little bit of coriander in there. I love using herbs. I just think it's a beautiful thing. So I'll just take a little wodge of this. Like, let's just put the stalks in there, right? Don't waste those. Beautiful flavor. I might take a little cup of water in there just to get it going. Definitely a pinch of salt and pepper. Secret ingredient for me is either lime or vinegar. As we are trying to salute our Mexican brothers and sisters, lime is such a brilliant fruit. Lime skin has gone in, we've rolled it, and that kind of breaks all the little capsules. Look at that, these are nice and juicy. Let's say 1.5 limes goes in. Whiz this up. Right, 30 seconds. How many recipes around the world just have a basic tomato sauce? So it's not hot chili hot, but it's just full of flavour. So I'm going to put half of this on here now. That will actually start softening all the caramelisation off the bottom of that pan. And now let's do the filling. It's really, really simple. Black beans, I'm going to drain it like that. Look, have a look at that. They're really amazing. They're the most beautiful colour, really nutritious, great source of protein, really, really cheap. We'll season it with salt and pepper. If you want to give a little kind of twang, the chipotle chili sauces have a smokiness and a deliciousness. You could use the smoked paprika, really, really nice. In here as well, I'm going to put a little bit of feta. So feta is not Mexican, but I can't get any Mexican cheeses. But actually feta, which is normally over salads raw, is brilliant cooked. So what I'm going to do is get a fork and fork it up. I like to go half mushy, like mashed potato, and half semi-chunky, just for texture. You can dress this with some nice heart-healthy fats, olive oil, cold-pressed olive oil, to give you flavour, to give you that shine. Let's see how I'm just mushing up the feta, some big, some small. And you can put a little bit of herb in there as well, just a bit. Go chunky, go fine, there's no right or wrong. That is the filling. We're gonna wrap that in this. So I'm using tortilla. If you want it to be more traditional, use the corn tortilla. We've got 8, right? So 2 each. So lay out your 8 tortilla. Let's stuff these bad boys. Let's just do a good spoon on each one. Okay, filling done. So I'm going to turn that pan on just to get it going. Why not? I'm going to cook it straight away. So I'm going to get that sizzling and I'm just going to squeeze it and roll it. So that's coming up to a simmer. Let's place in our beautiful little wrapped black beans. Snug them in there and the sauce goes in and around them. I'm going to pour on the rest of this sauce. As it bakes, some of this sauce will disappear. Everyone's pan is a little bit different, but ultimately our job is to cover these tortillas, right? If you want to cover it in some cheddar cheese, you can. I'm just going to put a little bit of this feta on top, like this. I quite like some of the tortillas showing themselves, the edges. I quite like crispy bits. So this goes in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. When is it ready? When it's golden and blipping and looking gorgeous. 20, 30 minutes is more than enough to make a delicious salsa. And this one is a little bit different than your standard one. Let me show you, it is so fast, I think you're gonna love it. So I'm gonna take like 4 sweet corn. You can use a pan or a griddle pan if you wish. Can you see how quickly it's just scalding? I'm just trying to get that smokiness happening, so all I have to do is literally just turn it. Let's turn that into a cool little contemporary salsa. So look, turn that gas stove off. Obviously these are quite hot now. Get a little bowl, put your cob or cobbette in there, hold it with your finger at the top, get your knife and just very simply run it down like that. Turn it, run it, turn it, run it. Very simple to do this. There is your sweet corn. The juice of your lime goes in for that acidity. Let's try and go quite delicate with the spring onions. Go as fine as you can. So just a little onion, just to give it a little hum. Herbs, use any herb you like. I'm using coriander. Seasoning, for sure. Pepper, yeah, you can join the party. Chili, a little or a lot, it's your vibe. And then just mix it up. Sweet, smoky, fresh, crunchy, really, really delicious. Okay, so the enchilada has had 25 minutes. Let's have a little look. It smells amazing in here. Come on, look at that. That is proper. That is comfort food. Look at that. Imagine that, putting that in front of your friends or your family. Delicious. And all I would do is finish that with a little fresh coriander for a punch of color. Look at that. Exciting food. Right, so let's put it together. I've got a little sour cream here. Got the salsa. Take it to the table. Let's get a little plate. Just get in there. Look how it gets crispy around the edge. It just is beautiful. Hopefully I can get it out in one. Sometimes it wants to fall off. So let's scrape up a load of that lovely sauce. Look at that. So look, let's put it down there. I love to have that contrast with the sour cream. You could use yogurt if you haven't got sour cream. And some of that beautiful salsa just lobbed on one side. Maybe a little shake, chili sauce. Let's have a little try. Wow. Just look at it, look at that lovely little mouthful. It's crispy, it's got sort of spiciness, but then it's fresh with that salsa and that sour cream. So there you go, guys. That is a one-pan wonder and a family favorite. So guys, what are you waiting for? Take care, happy cooking. So you've been asking for more simple chicken recipes in barbecue season. So I've got a recipe here where we're gonna look at the rub, we're gonna look at the glaze, we're gonna look at how to cook it and control the temperature of the barbecue. And here is beautiful, simple barbecue chicken thighs and legs. Right, let's get cooking. Now, I'm here at my London HQ where I do all of my recipe testing in the backyard. So let's get this lit up. I've lit the barbecue about 40 minutes ago, so it's settling nicely. Let's talk about spice rubs. And I kind of want to show you some of these sort of shop-bought rubs, right? You can go to any supermarket in any country and you can get all kinds of things from curry powders, that's a blend, Ras Al Hanout, which is a beautiful kind of North African expression of spices and seeds and nice things. We've got Chinese 5-spice, it could be Thai 7-spice. You know, you've got the beautiful jerk seasoning here. There's loads of stuff that's been done and dusted for you, and it can make it really easy for you. But I just want to kind of put this away because these are very convenient. I've got no issues with it at all. I use them often myself, but just making your own spice rubs, why would you do it? So look, the reason you do it is because you can control the spices. If you like something more, you can push it. If you don't like a certain spice, you can pull it back. You can also have secret ingredients, so you have your own kind of combo that you can be really proud of. But let me kind of get you into the spirit of it. Here, I've got a rub that I use a lot. Right, we've got fennel seeds here, 1 teaspoon. Smoked paprika here, 1 teaspoon. I've got some lovely dried oregano, guess what? 1 teaspoon. I've got some cumin seeds here, 1 teaspoon. black pepper, 1 teaspoon, and then sea salt, but not ordinary sea salt. This is actually smoked sea salt that you can buy, but you could use any sea salt, 1 teaspoon. In the middle, I've got 2 little cloves, and I find that's a really beautiful, fragrant, layered rub that you can do for many, many flavored grilled meats that are being slow cooked. Absolutely delicious. So you can add to that, you can add herbs, you can add garlic, little orange or lemon zest, you can add different spices. So fill your boots, use your imagination, use your passion. But what I'm going to do is bring this together. Now you could use a little coffee grinder, no trouble at all. I'm literally going to put this all into my pestle and mortar here, which is the old school way to do it. And what we want to do is use those spices to create a nice little dust, a nice little texture that will stick to your meat. Now obviously we're doing chicken, but it could be pork, lamb, goat, whatever you want to do, no trouble at all. So I'm just going to grind like this first, just to kind of mix it and see what's going on. Just start to grind it like this, then start using little tapping actions just to crush up those fennel seeds. For me, the spice shelf is like one of the best bits of the kitchen. Flavor-wise, nutritionally, it's incredible. You can see how the texture has completely changed. Look at that, really, really nice. So you can go finer if you want, but that, most importantly, will stick to the chicken. What I can do is just rub that onto the chicken, just like that. Very, very nice. Or I want to show you how easy it is to go from a rub, whether it's this stuff here or the homemade stuff here, to a marinade. The only thing you need to do to turn this into a marinade is add 2 things: olive oil and acid, whether it's lemon or vinegar, okay? And we've immediately gone from a lovely spice rub to a spiced marinade. This is now a marinade, and I'm going to pour this over the chicken, just like that. It smells incredible. And then we just sort of move this around and really get that marinade going in there. One nice little tip that I love to do is take a fork and just kind of make little puncture holes right the way through, all the way to the bone. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is tenderize the meat, flavor the meat, and then when you take a nice big chunk, that flavor goes all the way through to the bone, which is absolutely beautiful. So look, let me go and wash my hands, and then I'll show you how to cook it. So right, let's cook the chicken now. Now, a lot of people get very confused about indirect and direct barbecuing, and also with the lid on or the lid off, right? So let's just take the lid off for a second. Let me show you how I lit this. Now, this is a beautiful Weber kettle barbecue, and let me just show you how I did it. I started the coals on one of those lovely little lighters. They work so efficiently and brilliantly. And then what they've done, which is quite clever actually, is they've got these little baskets here, which means I can do indirect roasting. They're really hot over here, and then here it's not so hot. So when I put the lid back on, this turns into a giant roaster, which is fantastic. So remember, the chicken is actually seasoned, and I'm gonna go skin side down. I'm just gonna rub the bars with some of that fat, and we'll go skin side down. Let's get a little bit of color happening. Thighs on one side, chicken drumsticks on the others. So I'm gonna color, and then I'm gonna shift it into the middle. I'll put the lid on top, and then I'm gonna roast until that meat is tender and the skin is crispy, and it's gonna be delicious. For me, cooking over fire, you know, you wanna have the hot areas, the cool areas, and the next bit I think is fantastic for really getting flavor going. So what I'm gonna do is take the chicken, place it in the middle, and we're gonna go from grilling to roasting by simply finding that indirect area, like that. I'll put lovely chickens in and around it, like that. You've got plenty of space, beautiful. I'm gonna take this little flap here, and what you can do, which is really fun and nice and geeky, is get some fruit woods. This is apple wood. Just soak it in some water, put that on top, and that'll start smoking. So as we're roasting that chicken, we're smoking as well. So that's like the extra seasoning that is really, really good. What's genius about this system is you put the lid on top, right? You see the thermometer go up. I want it to be about 180 degrees Celsius, which is like 350 Fahrenheit. Then I can start closing off the air out and the air in. So control that temperature. That's your job when you're doing it. You're not going to burn it unless the heat gets out of control, but check it. And in 40 minutes, I'll show you what to do next. So the chicken's had 40 minutes. In that time, those beautiful thighs and legs would have tenderized, and we want to get that meat to pull off the bone in the most beautiful way. So let's just take the lid off. Look at that, you can see it sizzling away, bubbling in there. You can always tell when drumsticks or thighs are cooked when you can go into the meat and it just comes off the bone in the most beautiful way. So that's happening already. Take these lovely thighs and bathe them, submerge them in a wonderful barbecue sauce. Look at that glaze, that's what we want. This is my homemade barbecue sauce. If you want the recipe, click the link below, and that's my recipe, but you can use any barbecue sauce you love, and then put it back in the middle. So legs in, move it around, look at that. Now, what you don't want to do is put barbecue sauce, which nearly always, if always, has sugar in it, or honey, or maple syrup, or something like that, palm sugar. And you don't want to put that directly onto the bars because it will just burn. If you put it into a screaming hot oven, it will just burn. And unless you really watch it, it's going to give you trouble. So what I like to do is make sure none of these touch, right? I'm now going to put the lid back on top, and it'll be about 120 degrees. So 5 or 10 minutes, and you know when it's good. So that chicken has been in there for just under 10 minutes. And yeah, it will carry on cooking a little bit, but really it's just enough heat. It's about like 140 degrees just to make that lovely barbecue sauce just sit onto it, make it nice and sticky. Have a little look at that. Oh, the smell. And the smell is amazing. So let's get the tongs and let's just place those beautiful thighs. They're so incredibly shiny. There you go. If you've got any spring onions or anything like that, you know, you can put those over the top, some herbs, a little bit of chili there. If you had any citrus, lime, lemon, stuff like that, you can just serve that as a nice little wedge on the back. Serve it with whatever you want, rice, flatbreads, you name it. But that, my friends, is beautiful barbecue chicken thighs and legs, cooked with beautiful spices and that gorgeous barbecue sauce glaze. It's a nice principle for always guaranteeing that you've got tender, delicious, juicy meat and that lovely, sweet, sticky glaze. Happy days.